safe and well. Want to welcome you back to another edition of our Throwback Thursday series. Throwback Thursdays are a compiled series of responses from previous interviews in the Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. The interviews are with leading brand marketers and they're focused on customer experience and customer loyalty topics. The series addresses these topics we feel that are very germane to those who are driving the customer channel and brand loyalty programs within these organizations. Through openness of showcasing these brands, we attain what we feel is very unique insights through the depth and breadth of the interviews and should be relevant to anyone within the industry. Emotional loyalty is a topic of growing interest and impact of brands. It's front and center for those customer loyalty practitioners. They are looking to drive the emotional loyalty within their brand. Yet, do all brands have the opportunity to drive emotional loyalty? So we asked them, do your members have an emotional or passionate connection to your brand? Let's go ahead and take a look.
I think that, as I mentioned, we know it exists, right? We do get calls. I think, Pearl helped me on one of these where, someone wrote to me directly asking if they could purchase, some of our bedding. They actually really just enjoyed our pillows and said that those pillows are the only ones that, made it so her neck and her husband's neck didn't hurt. So, she asked if she could purchase them. We went and sent them to her for free. But, we know that there's certain things that people really like about our properties. The waffle was another one. But that is constantly changing. And I think that kind of dynamism of what customer behaviors are what makes this job so fun. And I think that we are constantly trying to talk to our customers or understand what those types of things are, because the things that matter today aren't going to matter in the future. And as we've learned from this pandemic, things can change very, very quickly during this time.
And honestly, especially in a lot of the markets that we're in, we tend to be in more urban areas. Our guests, we have two very specific guests. One is typically more value driven and the other one is more crave and indulgence driven. And when you have a value driven guest and you're not creating a great experience, that's a very significant hit to the pocketbook for the guests that might be coming for us. So again, to your point, it's great when it's great and we really nail it and we have this tried and true, especially social following, people that will defend our famous seasoned fries till they die. But boy, do we hear it, especially on the e-commerce side of the loyalty side of somebody that we really let down. That was their last $5 in their pocket, or they really needed to go feed the family. And instead of creating an easier path to purchase, we overcomplicated their experience. So again, when we looked at the loyalty program, when we look at these integrations, we literally lead with, does it make the guest experience easier? Does it solve a problem that they might have? And that's kind of how we try to address that emotional.
It's interesting because it's always better. It's always better to work for a brand that has an emotional connection and has loyal customers. From a loyalty perspective, especially at the campaign level, though, it does raise the bar for incrementality. And as much as we talk about what we want to provide to customers and understanding why we've launched this loyalty program, in today's environment in retail or business in general, you always need to be proving that you're an efficient spend. And in a brand that has high baseline connection, emotion, and loyalty, you're going to raise the bar for how much movement and what you need to do to create something incremental. Most of the ROI in loyalty programs comes from trips. It's not from just increased baskets. An incremental trip eclipses all of that. And if we've got some of the most loyal customers to our banner, it's harder to create incremental trips. Having said that, the reality of retail today is even your best customers are experiencing channel migration and are shopping more retailers than ever before. So incrementality is still possible, even at Hannaford, even with Hannaford's primary customers.
I can see, and I've listened to other presentations, and I can see how it could be a curse. For us, it's 100% a blessing, and it's definitely the goal of our program. And as I said, the most rewarding part of my job, just seeing, when a pro redeems for a cool reward, I don't want them, getting that reward in a vacuum and keeping it and, growing loyalty over time, which is great. But I want what's happening with Floor & Decor and with Pro Premier Rewards. Our pros redeem for a really cool reward, or they sign up for a pro partner where they saved thousands of dollars in their business, or they created a new website. and they're able to find new pros. And then you know what the next thing they do is they go back into our stores and they show pictures of their vacation to the pro associate that they interact with. They show, pictures of the sporting event they went to, or as I said, the pro who redeemed her points for a crib, right? She's showing pictures of her baby to our associate. You can't get more, emotional connectivity than that. And that's absolutely the goal for us. And that's why I think we've been successful. That again, they're not interacting with Pro Premier Rewards in a vacuum. They're interacting with associates that use the program as a tool to bridge them together. That's how we're going to be successful. They come into the store and they say, look what you helped me get, not look what I got on my own, because it's all about that connectivity there that goes beyond just managing a simple sales lift. It just goes back to that pro that we sent on a European vacation. They're not going to shop anywhere else with us because they just had the time of their life. They just had an amazing once in a lifetime experience. So for us, I can definitely understand how it can be a curse and you want to sometimes peel back, but for Floor & Decor and Pro Premier Rewards, it's definitely a blessing, and it's what we're trying to cultivate.
I think sort of by definition, hotels are an experiential product that we're selling, which does sort of by definition also make it more of an emotional connection. I think people definitely have strong emotional connections with the brands within our portfolio. I think something that I hear a lot in some of my meetings when talking to other partners and explaining all the different brands we have in our portfolio, talking about Days Inn, Super 8, La Quinta, etc. Oftentimes I'll hear people thinking back to when they were kids, taking road trips with their family, driving on the highway and stopping at a Days Inn. And it always sort of brings a smile to their face and thinking about what it was like to be doing that. So I think there is definitely a strong emotional connection that folks have with our brands. And I think one of the beauties of our portfolio is that we can take that person who has an emotional connection with a Days Inn, let's say, and we can expose them to all of our other brands and hopefully to build that emotional connection with some of the other brands that we have in our portfolio as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm someone who always views that as a positive for sure. I know when we send out member surveys, there are always comments in the responses that are simply, this is the best pizza, or I love Donato's. So that makes more work for me because I have to sift through all of it. So that part's not ideal, but it's another opportunity to just sort of take the temperature on the membership and just see, of the people who are engaged and paying attention and have some investment in what we're doing, and like they literally have an opportunity to say anything to us. Like that's what they choose to say, So I mean, how can you not feel good about that, right? It's like they're feeling the love and we're feeling it back.
We hope you enjoyed today's Throwback Thursday. Remember to check back in each Thursday for an updated video in this series, and also on Wednesday to get the updated edition for our discussion in Customer Loyalty series, which is our showcase of the agencies, technologies, and supplier partners within the industry, and they share some of the insight they have with regard to similar topics on customer loyalty in a very open format. Please subscribe to the series, leave us feedback on the topics of interest to you, and make sure to visit loyalty360.org daily for more thoughts and perspectives from the industry on customer channel brand loyalty. Thank you very much.